Welcome to another episode of Tube Test. We're sitting here with Jeff Marshall and Dusk Bennett, and we're talking about the M49. And Jeff, you actually have a FLEA 49. Why don't you go open it up? You haven't seen it yet.
No, I have not.
Nor have I.
All right, let's check it out.
Well, let's grab this thing.
Wow.
This is, it does look pretty legit.
It does look like an M49.
It's first impressions.
Yeah,
one looks kind of old and dirty, and the other looks kind of new.
Those actually look really close.
This one's rattling around, so that's an indication as to which one is...
just old and new.
The old one?
Wow, they look really close, though. This just looks like
actually,
a newer M49.
Yeah, I mean, at a glance... wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad. This one rattles around. That's how you can tell it's old.
So how's the weight on it?
They feel... Actually, this one feels a little heavier.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's definitely heavier.
Now, we haven't heard it.
Don't drop that.
We haven't heard it, but you're looking at them and looking at the tolerances. That's what I always notice with, inexpensive microphones. If they're made from China or, other countries. Well, not too many other countries, but
anyways. Everything's made in China now.
Yeah, exactly. But I noticed that the tolerances, and the tolerances on this, what do you guys think?
They look...
It's pretty tight. I mean, they're not messing around. It's not like there's gaps or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, at a glance, honestly, if this little logo wasn't here...
It could pass for
I
M49.
might at first look at it and think it's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really clean for a vintage mic. I mean, this is really clean for a vintage mic.
Mm-hmm.
So my gut is they did a really nice job. Flip that up real quick. Okay, that's the only area where I see, like, you can see where the mesh comes up to a curve here, where there's a little bit of spot welding right there.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that, and you don't see that on the original Neumann.
Yeah, not as much.
Not
maybe
nearly.
A little
But,
bit.
I mean, I don't even know if that's an issue of splitting hairs, honestly. Maybe that's just this one's microphone.
I love it. You guys haven't even heard it yet, but but the whole tactile thing is really important, because how many times have you opened up a microphone or seen one for the first time and then gone, oh, or this is kind of like, wow, holy cow. I mean, they're pretty.
Yeah, they did a neat job on this.
They did as good of a job on the inside as they did on the metalwork on the outside. It should be pretty good, hopefully.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing it.
Well, let's fire these microphones up and test them out and see what they sound like. But of course, one has an AC701 tube. I'm not really too sure what the FLEA one is. I'll call the guys. Well, we have a guess, of course, but I'll call the guys, actually email them. They're in Czechoslovakia. But I'll email the guys and find out what that tube is. And sometimes, some of these companies don't necessarily want to say, so I got to respect that. But yeah, here we go. The Neumann M49 and the FLEA 49.
It's got that vintage Neumann-ish Neve thing going on there. Yeah, it's nice.
Your mic test?
It's like a warm blanket. Hi.
Okay, this is the Neumann.
See, mine, I said
Check.
it smelled like
1, 2, check. Testing. Test. 1, 2. Yeah? That sounds pretty nice and rich.
So here we go. We've got the Neumann M49 warmed up and ready to go. You guys are right. It actually sounds fantastic already. But I got to watch my wows, right?
on this mic,
I'm allowed to say wow?
Just so the listeners know, it's wow. We're not making it up.
You're so funny. You made me what I am today. I hope you're satisfied. You dragged and dragged me down until the soul within me died, and you shattered each and every part. You fooled me right from the start, and although you're not true, may God bless you. You're the curse of an aching heart. That was the Neumann M49, and let's check out now the FLEA 49. Is that cool?
Hey. Good bottom.
Does it smell like a vintage mic?
It doesn't smell like a vintage mic, but it has a flavor that's a little unique. So that could work for it. It's not vintage, but it works. Hey.
1, 2. Wow. Testing. Check. 1, 2, check. Yeah, it does seem like the top end's definitely a little brighter, and I kind of expected that. The bottom end it's like, it feels tighter. It's still big, but not as boomy almost. It doesn't get muddy at all, and the Neumann, not that it does, but it has a little bit, it doesn't feel as tight on the bottom end.
Here we go. We've got the FLEA 49 warmed up and ready to go, and the guys just went through their whole thing, and Dusk has apparently a sniff test. Don't ask me, okay? I don't want any weird comments. You're going to have to comment him, okay? Anyways, all kidding aside, let's get this rolling. Let me set it up. I should just have you do it. So here we go. I'm going to have Jeff Marshall, our head engineer here, roll it and test it out. Here we go. You made me what I am today. I hope you're satisfied. You dragged and dragged me down until the soul within me died. And you shattered each and every part. You fooled me right from the start. And although you're not true, may God bless you. You're the curse of an aching heart. Okay, so you guys, we just tested out the Neumann M49 and also tested out the FLEA 49. Okay, you guys don't have to hold your opinions in. You can now tell us.
Yeah, I was proven wrong. I picked the FLEA as the original because it had just this really Neumann-esque bottom end that was really large, almost too large, and that's why I'm like, that has to be Neumann. It's got the big bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it. I heard it 4 or 5 times back to back, and every time I'm like, that's the Neumann. And then he's like, no, that's not it. That's the FLEA. My demo on the mic, I thought that the FLEA was brighter, and I made that comment, you might remember.
Yeah.
But when we played it back, I swear it was darker than the original. So, sort of like what we said the other day about the 47s, how they're all really great sounding microphones, whether you're looking at the Telefunken microphone, the FLEA, or the original. None of them sounded the same. This is a little closer.
That's what I was thinking.
This is a little more, I wouldn't say it's spot on, because clearly I heard a difference between the two. Mm-hmm. It could have been just proximity effect, how you were standing on the microphone. I mean, this was close. And I don't see this undermining the market of guys that own originals. But if you're really in love with the tone of that microphone and you can't afford to spend $6,000 or $7,000 on an original, mm-hmm. This is kind of
and it's reliable too.
Yeah, it's the tube thing, the fact that it's obviously still, it's not an AC 701 that you're chained to. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea that something Johnny pointed out is. Usually, like AKG put out a mic several years ago called the Solid Tube, and they put this really gimmicky plastic window so you could look at the 12AX7 that kind of glows. I mean, I got caught up in that too and bought the thing and realized as soon as you turn it on, it's awful. I sold it. It was a terrible microphone. That was so gimmicky, the tube window thing. I've never seen a vintage mic where you can actually see the tube inside. This FLEA, just by design or by omission, actually you can see the tube glowing in the dark. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was their intent, but it just kind of happened to be that way. So that is kind of cool. And it's not gimmicky. It's not like someone stuck an LED in there and said, hey, cool, check it out. Like, it's pretty legit. So my take on it is that I wouldn't call it a game changer, but that's a nice microphone.
Yeah.
So I got to ask the student. What are you now? You're what, like a senior? Or
I'm a sophomore
You're
actually, so
sophomore.
I got a couple more years to go. But
Nice. So what did you think right out of the gate? I mean, how'd you feel? What'd you think? You know, going into it, were you skeptical? Were you know, this, that? When you're holding the mic, were you kind of like, you know, it's kind of about the same, but
yeah, you know, when I took the mic right out of the box, it seemed like it was built really well, and I'd seen the FLEA 47 before, and I knew from that experience that they build pretty good microphones, the build quality, and also the FLEA 47 sounded really great, so I assumed it would sound pretty good. But when we kind of set it up, and we did the M49, the Neumann first, and it had a good sound, obviously. It's the M49, and it was kind of the familiar M49 sound. And when we put up the FLEA, I kind of didn't, I thought I was imagining things because the bottom end was bigger. And like Dusk was saying, I'm not used to something being bigger, like going back to back between a Neumann and then some other clone of a Neumann, and the bottom end being actually bigger on that. And it wasn't overly big. It was a really nice round bottom end. So, and you were also saying, Dusk, that it seemed a little almost darker on when we were playing it back. I think what it was, maybe, it seems like the Neumann M49 had a little bit more of a high mid-range, not necessarily a boost, but it was pretty maybe flat throughout there, maybe a small boost there, but it seemed like the FLEA kind of didn't have that as much. Maybe it was a tiny bit scoop there. It was really subtle, but because definitely the highs were a tiny bit, you know, it was a little brighter in the highs, not necessarily the high mids, so that maybe, I don't know, it had a little bit of a scooped feel compared to the Neumann. But this is really subtle, because as Dusk was saying, they pretty much, you could listen to them and get a little confused which one you were listening to.
So check it out, the FLEA 49, and thank you so much, Aaron Householder over at Studio 1117, for sending us the FLEA 49. Of course, Dusk wants to know where this little connector is.
I'll make it right.
He's pretty upset about that. But anyways.
And John Ondrasik for loaning us his M49.
Oh yeah, him too. Put a link to his music, but everybody knows who he is.
Everyone knows John. Well, most people know John.
If you don't, you should. Yeah.
Do you want to say any thanks? You better thank your girlfriend. You're gonna be in trouble.
Oh man. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys and listen to these microphones. It's been a cool experience and a good educational experience for sure.
Thank your girlfriend.
And thanks to my girlfriend for being awesome.
Smart. Next time on Tube Test, we're going to go back in the studio and check out the Telefunken U47, an original Neumann U47, and a FLEA 47. Next time on Tube Test.
I've played this role far too many times.